Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, we are jumping right into the deep end today. If you're sitting for the Cambridge AS and A-level accounting exams, you already know the stakes are incredibly high. We've all felt that collective, sinking panic in the exam hall when a trial balance simply refuses to balance. But the margin between an average grade and a top-tier A-star mark doesn't come down to perfect math. It comes down to a few highly specific, deeply analytical skills. I'm your master coach for today, and we are opening up the ultimate strategic playbook to master a topic where even the smartest students consistently lose easy marks: the purpose and limitations of trial balances. Throughout this session, I want you to imagine two of my top scholars. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is highly technical, brilliant at formulas, but struggles with open-ended evaluation. Sam is our creative thinker, fantastic at arguments, but completely lacks structural precision and time management. Today, we're taking a massive, high-tariff 15-mark sample question, and we're going to deconstruct it just like Alex and Sam would. By the end of this masterclass, you'll have a rigorous, systematic approach to dissect these complex questions, master your time allocation, and absolutely crush the exam. Let's get into it. Here is our strategic roadmap for today's session. We're going to cover the examiner's perspective, the cognitive domains, the method mark strategy, the top 3 warnings, and finally, critical evaluation. Now, I need you to pay incredibly close attention to this. What you're seeing right now isn't just friendly advice. This is a direct, urgent, and quite frankly lethal alert pulled straight from the principal examiner reports. Quote, "The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. This is exactly where the vast majority of candidates bleed marks right off the bat. Let's do a quick anatomy of exam command words to understand why. Examiners use words like analyze, evaluate, explain, and to what extent. Our student Alex loves the word explain because Alex can just list facts. But when a 15-mark question asks you to evaluate the limitations of a trial balance for this specific business, Alex falls apart, dropping a memorized textbook list of errors without any context. Sam, on the other hand, sees evaluate and writes a massive, unstructured essay that totally ignores the specific hidden constraints of the prompt. Cambridge exams are not testing your memory, folks. They are testing your ability to deploy critical thinking strategies within a very specific, real-world accounting scenario. So, to fix this disconnect, we have to start by looking through the examiner's lens. Section 1, the examiner's perspective. Let's step into the digital study suite with Alex and Sam for a deconstruction debate. They are staring at a trial balance question. Alex is pushing for a purely factual approach, saying, hey, let's just list the 6 errors that don't affect a trial balance: omission, commission, principal, and so on. We'll get a mark for each. Sam argues back, no, the examiner wants a broader perspective on why the business is failing. They are both slightly wrong. The golden rule here is analytical depth over superficial breadth. Academic benchmarks at the AS and A level require logical, highly structured reasoning. The examiner would much rather see you take just 2 limitations, for instance, an error of principle, like treating the purchase of a delivery van as a motor expense, and an error of omission, where a massive credit purchase is completely left out, and deeply, surgically analyze how those 2 specific errors impact the gross profit and the net asset valuation of the exact business in the prompt. Listing 6 things gets you capped at a low band. Going deep on 2 or 3 contextualized points unlocks the top-tier marks. Let's formally map out exactly how those marking bands work. Section 2, Core Cognitive Assessment Domains. Examiners systematically test 3 distinct cognitive domains, also known as assessment objectives. First is AO1, Knowledge and Understanding. This is Alex's comfort zone. Do you know what a trial balance actually is? Can you define an error of original entry? But AO1 only gets you the baseline marks. Next is AO2, Analysis. Can you interpret relationships? Can you explain that because a transaction was omitted, the current liabilities are artificially low? Finally, we have the highest tier, AO3, Evaluation. This is where you weigh the evidence and draw justified conclusions. Successful candidates must demonstrate competence across all 3. If you just define the terms, you fail the higher bands. If you jump straight to evaluating without showing your analytical working, the examiner can't award you the marks. You have to step through them sequentially. This brings us to the most vital tool in your arsenal, Section 3, the method mark strategy. All right, before we look at how to literally draft the perfect response paragraph by paragraph, I am going to pause our session right here for a quick, crucial reminder. If you want to absolutely dominate your Cambridge exams, you need consistent, elite-level strategy. So right now, hit that subscribe button for the Ace the Exams IGCSE O&A Levels channel. That's at acetheexam_IGCSE. And make sure you enable all notifications so you never miss a weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategy. Imagine the subscribe button and notification bell clicking right now. Okay, back to the board. In complex questions, examiners award marks for your systematic process. We call this the method mark. Step 1, deconstruct the question constraints. Step 2, extract the relevant data from the stimulus. Step 3, execute your analysis with clear working. Step 4, verify your results. Step 5, format correctly. If you follow this standardized procedural framework, you are actively picking up marks at every single stage, even if you make a tiny arithmetic error right at the end. Now, let's watch Alex and Sam actively draft a model response on screen using this exact framework. They are doing great on steps 1 and 2, but suddenly they hit a massive roadblock on step 3, executing the analysis and linking their paragraphs. Sam is trying to jump straight to the conclusion, while Alex is lost in the weeds of a calculator. Let's use our cognitive strategy to get them unstuck. I step in and tell them, guys, focus on practical application skills. When you apply the correct accounting formats, use appropriate terminology, like explicitly writing error of commission rather than just saying, put in the wrong account, and objectively evaluate performance based on the trial balance, you build a bridge over that roadblock. We rewrite that flawed section together out loud. Instead of a mediocre answer, they write, due to the error of principle in capitalizing revenue expenditure, the profit for the year is overstated by $4,000, artificially inflating the return on capital employed. Boom, flawless, full mark response.
But even with a great process, the examiner's traps are waiting for you. Let's look at Section 4, Top 3 Examiner Warnings. All right, it is time for an interactive visual workshop. I want you to engage with this directly. Imagine a complex data excerpt from a business is on the screen, and a 60-second visual countdown timer just started. You're tasked with analyzing it, but you have to dodge these 3 lethal pitfalls from the examiner reports. Number 1, confusing cause and effect. Students constantly say a trial balance error caused a transaction to happen. No, the transaction error caused the trial balance to be misleading. Number 2, forgetting format and presentation. In the heat of the exam, as that 60-second timer ticks down in your head, it's so easy to drop your column headers or forget your dollar signs. The examiner literally docks professional marks for this. And number 3, the absolute biggest trap, providing answers that are entirely disconnected from the stimulus context. Time's up. Did you fall into any of those traps? Let's do scene 2 of our workshop, Spot the Flaw. I'm putting a poorly written student answer on the board, and your job is to find the error. The student wrote, a limitation of a trial balance is that it will still balance even if an entire transaction is omitted. Think about it. What's the flaw? The flaw is that it is a completely generic answer. Yes, it's a true accounting fact, but it scores 0 analytical marks. Now look at the contextualized answer. A limitation of this specific trial balance is that it fails to reveal the omitted $5,000 credit purchase of machinery from supplier X, meaning the non-current assets and payables are fundamentally understated in the draft financial statements. I am systematically highlighting exactly what the examiner wants to see. They want the specific dollar amount, the specific supplier, and the specific impact on the financial statements. Now we are ascending to the absolute highest cognitive hurdle, Section 5, Mastering Critical Evaluation. To score maximum marks in that AO3 evaluation domain we talked about earlier, you have to assess the quality of the evidence. It's a 4-part attack. 1. Identify the limitations of the data provided. Is it just a draft trial balance? 2. Highlight assumptions made by the business. Are they assuming all ledgers have been updated? 3. Explore alternative interpretations. If the suspense account has a credit balance, could it be masking multiple cascading errors, not just one? And 4. Assess the effect on the final conclusions. Higher-order assessment objectives demand that you evaluate alternatives and deliver justified recommendations based strictly on the data in front of you. You have to act like a true auditor here.
So how do we package all of this up? We use the paragraph balance formula. When you're executing comparative analysis, there are non-negotiable rules. First, identify both similarities and differences. Second, force yourself to use comparative connectives, words like whereas, conversely, or in contrast. Third, support every single comparison with hard numerical evidence from the text. And finally, draw a definitive conclusion. In our digital suite, this was Sam's biggest breakthrough. Sam realized that a great argument means nothing if you don't connect it with evidence using words like, conversely, the error of omission impacted the balance sheet, whereas. This is the exact formula to ensure absolutely no marks are left on the table.
Now, under intense exam conditions, recalling all this theory can be tough, so let's synthesize this masterclass into 3 core, memorable pillars. Pillar 1, the 3-step question scan. Always highlight the command word, the content required, and the hidden constraints. Pillar 2, the paragraph balance formula we just discussed. Pillar 3, the last 5 minutes review checklist, where you check your formats and ensure every point is contextualized. And as a final actionable memory anchor, create a personal mnemonic using the first letters of the key limitations of a trial balance, like omission, commission, principal, compensating. Lock that in so when the pressure hits, you don't blank out. You can instantly access those key terms and start building your analytical depth.
So I am leaving you with this provocative final thought. Will you settle for superficial breadth, or will you deploy the analytical depth the examiner actually demands? Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent strategy, a deep understanding of what's happening behind the examiner's red pen, and the discipline to apply it every single time. Contextualize every answer, follow the MethodMark strategy, and always aim for the highest evaluation band. If you want to keep mastering these frameworks and stay ahead of the curve, you need to hit that subscribe button right now for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O&A levels at aceexam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next exam hack. And right now, go down to the comments and publicly declare your target grade. Put it in writing. Keep practicing those past papers, trust the systematic process we built today, and I will see you in the next explainer.